Right in the middle of my vacation, my son texted me, "We know this is your beach house, but we want some alone time with my wife's parents, so please move to a hotel." I replied, "Understood." And then I made my final move. What happened an hour later made my in-laws beg my son to divorce their daughter. The midday sun in the lowcountry doesn't just warm you, it scorches, stripping away everything unnecessary until only the raw truth remains. The air hung heavy with the scent of dry Spanish moss and the relentless drone of cicadas. But on the terrace of Indigo Point, my beach house, the heat felt different. It was laced with a chilling silence that settled over the dining table like frost. I stood in my kitchen, back turned to my guests, slicing a ripe watermelon. The knife cut through the sweet flesh with a soft crunch. This was my kitchen, the one I'd designed myself 20 years ago. I knew every detail. The southwest-facing window to capture sunsets without the brutal midday glare, the Italian tiles the color of warm cream, the counter height I'd fought the contractor over. Every inch of this house was an extension of me, my vision, my sweat, my triumph. Yet today, I felt like an intruder in my own home. At the table under the wisteria-draped pergola sat the self-appointed lords of the manor. My son, Sterling, kept his eyes glued to his plate, shoulders slumped, the same little boy who'd once hidden behind me after breaking a neighbor's window. Only now, he wasn't hiding behind me. He was hiding from me. Across from him sat Thaddeus and Zenobia Vance, my daughter-in-law's parents. They picked at the red snapper I'd prepared with expressions of mild disgust. Zenobia, draped in gaudy gold jewelry that looked absurd against the casual beach setting, dabbed her lips and announced, "The fish is a little dry." "Remember that place in Savannah, Thaddeus? Much better there." The loudest voice, as always, belonged to Caris. My daughter-in-law sat at the head of my table, pouring chilled wine like a queen surveying her conquered kingdom. Her white dress hugged her glowing skin, but it couldn't hide the predatory glint in her eyes. "Mom, Dad, you have no idea what plans we have," she trilled. "This wall is pointless, we're knocking it down for floor-to-ceiling glass. Panoramic views. And the garden, too old-fashioned. All those bushes, we need minimalism. Concrete, glass, manicured lawn." "Right, Sterling." Sterling flinched and nodded. "Yes, babe. Whatever you say." I froze with the watermelon platter in my hands. A cold knot formed in my stomach. They were casually planning to destroy everything I'd built, as if I weren't even there, as if I were just outdated furniture headed for the curb. "Miss Ulleia," Caris snapped without looking at me, snapping her fingers. "We're out of wine. Bring another bottle. And more ice, this has melted." The Vances exchanged smug glances. In their world, there were servers and the served. To them, I, the owner of a multi-million-dollar waterfront villa, was just a poor relative kept around out of pity in exchange for cooking and cleaning. I counted to 3, steadying my voice. "I'll bring it right away." In the cool hallway, I leaned against the wall, heart pounding. "Endure it," I told myself. "They're leaving in a week. You've survived worse." But when I returned, Zenobia drawled, "So, Ulleia, you do everything yourself." "We have help for that. Sterling says retirement leaves you with nothing better to do." I said nothing, just poured their wine. The invisible thread inside me stretched tighter. Suddenly, I announced, "I need to go to the market. We're out of fresh figs." Caris waved me off. "Go ahead. And get large olives, not the cheap ones like last time." I grabbed my bag and left, walking toward the ocean to clear my head. At the bustling market, surrounded by the smells of fried shrimp and sea salt, my phone buzzed. A text from Sterling. I opened it, hoping for an apology. Instead, "Mom, we know this is your beach house, but Caris's parents feel uncomfortable. We want to be alone with them to discuss family business. Please move to a hotel until the end of the week. We'll pay." The world went silent. Your beach house. Uncomfortable. Move to a hotel. The tears I'd held back all day evaporated. In their place came cold clarity. I typed one word, "Understood." Then I called Desmond, my luxury realtor contact of many years. "Are you still looking for prime waterfront property?" "Always." "Why? One of the neighbors selling." "No. I'm selling Indigo Point. And I need a buyer today." I discarded the figs I'd bought for them and headed to Desmond's office. He was shocked. "You're serious? Your baby? I need a cash buyer ready to take immediate possession." He had one. Titan, Banks, a wealthy developer from Atlanta who'd long coveted my lot. He was in town and ready to move in tomorrow. Price agreed. Showing in an hour. I stopped at a boutique, buying an emerald silk scarf and oversized sunglasses, armor to transform me from victim to commander. Then I sent the Vances a password-protected file, the property deed. Caption: a gift for the family. Password: when we meet. At home, I arrived with Titus and Desmond in tow. The terrace party fell silent as I strode in, scarf tied regally, glasses hiding my eyes, flanked by two suited men. Caris tried her usual condescension, offering me $50 for dinner, and telling me to leave. Thaddeus sneered, calling the men porters from the senior center. I ignored them. Mr. Banks, I said calmly, how do you like the house? I'll take it, Titus boomed. Price we discussed. Keys in an hour. Chaos erupted. Caris shrieked. Thaddeus demanded answers. I placed the original deed on the table. Thaddeus read it aloud, voice trembling. Sole owner, Ulleia Thorne. No mortgage. Built 20 years ago. Caris lied. She's just nominal owner for taxes. We paid millions. Titus laughed. Documents say otherwise. Thaddeus turned purple. You told us you bought this 3 years ago. We sent $5,000 a month for the mortgage, $180,000. Caris crumbled under the truth. No renovations. No mortgage. Just lies and stolen money spent on luxury. When cornered, Caris played her final card. You can't kick me out, I'm pregnant. Hope flickered in Sterling's eyes. Zenobia rushed to her, but I noticed the empty champagne bottle and Caris's glass. She'd drunk heavily all lunch. Pregnant women don't down a bottle of 12% brut in this heat, I said quietly. Thaddeus made her breathe on him. Alcohol. Lie exposed. He delivered the verdict. You're a thief and a liar. Sterling, if you stay with her, you're dead to me. Sterling, broken but awakening, said, I'm filing for divorce. They packed and left, Thaddeus dragging a hysterical Caris. Titus signed the contract. Money transferred. But as the sun set, I couldn't let go. I offered Titus 10% penalty to cancel the sale. He tore up the contract. I knew you weren't really selling. I just played along. I hated that daughter-in-law on sight. The house was mine again. Later, Sterling called in panic. Thaddeus had kicked Caris out on the highway. Zenobia was ill. He chose to stay with the Vances and go to the police. I told him, no, you can't come here. Handle your own life. The next morning, Titus arrived with white roses and a proposal. Rent the house for the summer, great money for me while I traveled, on condition I advise him remotely on not killing my roses. Deal. I flew to Rome that evening, free, wealthy, and finally living for myself. Sterling texted later, divorce filed, job hunting. Handling it. I replied, I believe in you. See you in a month, with an Italian tie. Then I blocked Caris forever. The sea, the house, the future, all mine. And the silence. It was magnificent. What did you think of the story? Let me know in the comments. Smile.